All right, guys, welcome back to Waters Family Homestead. I just got out here and was tinkering a little bit, and you see some of the landscape timbers actually don't look bad, but they're rotten, they break easy. So I'm clearing more. So this is the back side of the 3 chicken pens with their one big run area, or actually 2 that I keep the gate open. But this is where I haven't been able to walk for a couple of years. And these were the old raised beds right here, and then another set right here, 4x16, 4x8 on each end, 2 4x8s, which is 4x16. And you see, I did get up a lot of the scuppling root, but it is what it is. There's no way for me not to, with as much as this thing has grown into everything around it. But all that privy, pretty much, it's either been pushed up, the roots are out of the ground, and it's dying, or it's in the process. My tractor will run, the longer it runs, the more I can get done at one time. But anyway, I've gotten all the way to the end of where the 3 buildings are. So I'm pushing, and I've got the telephone poles here that are in the way. I've got a couple barrels over there I got to move. The old fish cleaning sink or meat processing sink. And then I've got to get my water containers up here, 550 gallons of water emptied, so I can move those containers and then drag these poles out, have them out of the way so I can continue working. So that's what I'm going to do since my tractor's not cooperating right now. It works when it wants to. But as you can see, it's cleared it pretty doggone good. I mean, once I get the majority of it done, I can start dragging back into the woods, into my piles back there, and get it off of the side of the yard. But it's a lot of work. It takes a lot of time, and I'm just going to keep pecking at it. And I know y'all may be getting tired of the videos, but it's what I'm doing. I'm trying to grow the homestead. I'm trying to make use of what I've got. In this property I have let overgrown the last 5 to 7 or 8 years, and I just haven't been able to maintain it by myself. My tractor, when I bought it, started acting up. This, what I call the Yanmar, the backhoe, right after I bought it, so I wasn't able to do anything. And I'm just finally got to the point, well, if I got to put a motor in it or rebuild this one, I'm going to use it until it freaking locks up. So I'll use it till it does, and try to get as much, as I can out of it until then. I'm taking it easy on it, of course, but I just can't afford to put a new motor in it right now. But I have managed to stay away from all of the fruit trees over here, this little fig tree, those 2 peach trees, and then that apple tree on the end, this bigger fig tree, and this apple tree. I have not done any damage to them. The only thing I've really lost is the scuppling vine, and I have them growing wild like crazy back there in the woods. I can always try to transplant some up here and replant it, but I don't want it here anyway. I'm going to turn this into, I believe the idea I'm going with is all this from the well area down, or where my water tanks are up there. If y'all can see, way up there at the well. It's about 30 yards away, roughly, maybe a little more than that. All the way across the back of the chicken pens in the run area, it's going to L shape and make a big square down here, will be the first goat pen. And that way the goats can help keep this side of the fence for the chickens, under control, and not let it grow back up. Once I get the fence done here, it won't be able to grow back in. The goats will keep it eat down, and that should help me a lot, keeping that property line clear. So I'm going to get off here. I'm going to get over there, and I'm going to start draining those water tanks, which it'll take a while. I mean, you're talking about 550 gallons of water. So it'll take a little while for me to get them drained and get those things moved, and then get them old fuel barrels moved. And I might even be able to get the fish table done something with today. So I don't know. I'm just going to keep tinkering as my tractor will allow me, and keep trying to make progress, guys. I appreciate you watching the videos. I'm just going to pause this one here, and I'll add to it later. So I appreciate y'all. Well, there's the first thing. Loosen the caps after you open the spouts, because it'll flood out of there too fast if you got the cap already loose. But you can't leave the cap on. It'll suck that tank down with that weight of that water pulling out there. 550 gallons. Now I got to get them moved and then get them filled back up. I'm not going to leave them empty. So that's a lot of water, guys. That's a lot. And that's what's going to be up at the top of my water tower, hopefully, before it's over with. And I'm going to get back there and try to get them barrels moved and anything else. I think there's a few old tires my son left there 7 or 8 years ago. I don't know. But I'm going to try to get that done and see what else I can get into over here to get a little more cleaned up. Trying to get ready to build a water tower and a goat pen. The job never ends. Alright guys, so it's actually the next day. Tractor's still acting up. I've got ideas what I can do to, I think I can get it back to where it was running the way it was for the last few weeks. Not giving me any big problems, but haven't done that yet, so we will see. But I wanted to show y'all, with the tractor out of the way, I'm standing right here, back corner of the chicken run area. You can see all the way to where the telephone poles are. So all this has been pushed up. And I was actually starting over there. You see the buckets up a little bit. I was breaking some of that privy that was grown up. I've already pushed the roots of it up. None of that was deep down in the ground. It broke pretty easy. So that's what I'm working on. And I'm getting to the point where I'm gonna start grabbing it like I did this back here. And you know, with the bucket pointed down, and scrape it and pull it back toward the woods. And then once I get, you know, a decent little pile, I'll take it and push it on around through the opening right here back into the woods, so it's not, you know, taking up the yard space. And anyway, I've got it pretty good. I need to level it up and all that, you know, scrape it a little bit. But I drained all the water out of them tanks yesterday, as y'all just saw, and there's still mud back here from it. So it ran a long ways, about 40 yards, I'd say, 30-40 yards. But I'm planning on taking the tractor and pushing these poles. I'm gonna try to push them one at a time that direction, so I can get them out from back here out of the way. And I'll walk through. I gotta walk across the poles, but I took the tractor down to this end, and I was going to try to drag it, but all I can find is this rope. And I'm really worried that rope will snap and come back and knock me into next week. So I'm gonna have to either find my long chain or get a much stronger strap, so I ain't got to worry about it. But this is behind the pump house on this end of the dog pen. That cedar tree limb had broke and was still growing out here, taking up my space, and that tree's over on the other side of the property. And if you look up here, these limbs come way over, and they're taking up, you know, 20 feet on my side of the property. So I've got to get a pole saw and get that stuff cut off. And I'm just going to try to grab it with the tractor and push it back over the fence. It's their debris. They can deal with it. I really don't care. But the fence line, if you look right here, you can see a post right inside the... And that's the fence line. And that fence actually is not in terrible shape. It's whether it's going to survive trying to clean up around it or not, I don't know. But that'll clean up all this really well. I can't make my mind up what I want to do with this dog pen. Either start taking the thing apart if I can, you know, saving what I can off of it, or just push it with the tractor into the pile. But I'm really not looking forward to that, because if I run over one of them things with a screw or a nail, and then I put a hole in the tractor tire, and that's just more problems. So I got to get the blocks and stuff drug out. I've already taken all the screws off of that old counter, And a tree limb fell on it one time and broke it in several pieces, but I screwed it down back into the right place. It works. So I'm gonna take all them pieces and probably pile them up back here with the rest of my junk until I build a new frame for it and get it put back together. And I've still got to get the barrels and the stack of blocks back there out, but I'm making progress. And you know, I didn't end this video the other day, so I needed to show y'all what I got done. And you know, it's really not that bad. Once I get this dog pen area moved and these telephone poles drug back up there out of the way, then I can bring the tractor through here and start pushing that direction with all this, you know, debris and mess, which will make things go a lot faster and a lot easier. So that's kind of the idea. I'm really not worried about the dirt and the soil and all that. I can leave it. I just want to get all the debris, the tree limbs, the bushes, and the old landscape timbers and all that stuff needs to be pushed back into the pile so it'll just rot back there in the woods. So I'm made a little bit of progress, but there's privy that's growing up here too. That's the reason I'm wanting to get these poles moved so that I can go ahead and get the tractor in and start taking that privy and stuff down and pushing it back into the woods to hopefully get some more cleared up. But guys, I appreciate y'all watching the videos, subscribing to the channel. It means a whole lot to me, very much. And I do appreciate y'all. Look at that. I'm watching the turkeys. Turkey looking at my cat like, what? He don't know what that is, or she, whatever it is. I believe they're all he's, but anyway, thank y'all for watching. I do appreciate it. Y'all remember what I always tell you. Jesus loves you, and so do I. Y'all be safe. Be prepared.